Alright, we gotta talk about this Super Mario Bros. Movie. Ever since this was announced all the way back in 2018, I've always been so intrigued with it. Not only is it a Super Mario Bros. Movie, a franchise that's notorious for not getting external media outside of its video games, but this is also an Illumination movie, and it's going to be their second time adapting a pre-existing franchise. The last time they did that was... This just seemed like the strangest combination. But after years of waiting and casting announcements and memes about those casting announcements, we finally have our first trailer. Usually on this channel we talk about existing media such as TV shows and movies that are already released, but I'm willing to make an exception for this because I have so many thoughts going into it and I have so many opinions to voice that I don't think are being voiced by anybody right now. I am not very confident in the Mario movie and there's a very strong possibility that this thing will not be good, but I'm also incredibly excited for it. Like, unreasonably, this might be honestly my most anticipated movie of next year. That sounds terrible, oh my god. But why is this? Why am I looking forward to this train wreck, if you will? Why do I think it will be a train wreck? Well, let's find out. Let's get the elephant out of the room first. This has nothing to do with a Mario bias. Yes, I run a Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel, but the idea of Sonic and Mario having a rivalry in the 2020s is dead. Me trying to fight a fight that's been dead for 30 years would be ridiculous. Yes, I prefer Sonic to Mario, but that's not going to impact my opinion towards a Sonic movie or a Mario movie. I care about the film, and that's all I care about, and I do not like the people who are making the Mario movie. A few months ago, I made a video about Illumination, and I'll be the first to tell you I'm not a fan of that video. I think I was incredibly way too harsh on the studio. Yes, I'm not a fan of their work, but also, I wasn't being constructive at all with what I was saying. I actually wish I waited for Minions Rise of Gru, because I actually didn't hate that movie, surprisingly. But the TLDR of it, I still believe that Illumination makes products. They don't make films. They're trying to sell you as many toys and merchandise as possible, and they're trying to get as many tickets sold for cheap, easy to produce movies that lack character, heart, and soul. From everything we've seen about the Mario movie, from everything we've heard about the Mario movie, it seems to be absolutely no different. If anything, it sounds worse. In my opinion, movies have to have a purpose. You can't just be like, hey, I want to make a film. I feel like there has to be some kind of drive and passion behind it. A story birthed from relationship trauma, your childhood, a passion for someone else's experience that you connect to, are just a few examples of what I think births really good movies. If you're passionate about it, not being like, hey, let's adapt this to make money. And unfortunately, this is why the Mario movie exists. Years ago, Comcast and Universal started a relationship with Nintendo where they would build theme parks around the world. For that extra little bit of brand synergy, Universal also happens to own an animation studio called Illumination. This will help strengthen Universal and Nintendo's relationship and also make both of them a butt ton of money. The Mario movie seemingly exists to push theme park attendance. Not just that, but the theme park will help both Universal and Nintendo in pushing ticket sales to the actual movie when it's in theaters, home releases, and merchandise. Now, I'm not gonna lie guys, I'm not gonna act like I'm some high and mighty non-consumer because oh, I am. Me and a bunch of my friends plan on going to this thing day one. It looks like a fun time. I want to race a Mario Kart, and the burger look good. Now, it's not a foreign concept for companies to want to make money, but this seems to solely exist for that purpose. And when we're talking about movies and art form, I'm looking to see if this is going to be a good form of art. We see what happens when studios treat their tentpole films of big icons like a product, and it amounts to stuff like this. It's just not this though. It goes far beyond this. Illumination as an animation studio has yet to make a film I enjoyed. I did have fun with Minions Rise of Gru, but I'd be lying if I said that the memes and hype going into that film didn't play a role in that. But looking at this catalog of movies, it doesn't make me excited or confident that the Mario movie will be any different. We've seen what Illumination adaptations have done before. They haven't been great, but this is kind of different from Dr. Seuss. Mario is still owned by a multi-billion-dollar corporation who is working on the movie alongside Illumination. And Nintendo's close involvement with the Mario movie has made a lot of people more confident, and simply looking at some of the stuff that we'll get into later has also made people more confident because of its faithfulness to the source material. But this doesn't make me confident. The only confidence that this gives me is that they won't allow Illumination to completely ruin their characters. I don't want to see a twerking Luigi in my movie, but I also do want to see a twerking Bowser, so I'm glad that Nintendo allowed that. Why this doesn't give me confidence is because Nintendo is Nintendo. They are a video game company. I don't think Shigeru Miyamoto is the god of knowing how to properly pace and structure a story. I don't think anyone at Nintendo knows how to give their characters character, because they don't have any. Mario is Mario. Luigi is frightened and a Peach is a thought, and Donkey Kong likes bananas. There isn't a lot to work with, which kind of gives Illumination a clean slate, and that scares me. Nintendo is essentially just here to collect their paycheck and also make sure that another Mario movie from 1993 doesn't happen again. So going into the Mario movie, I have all of these thoughts of not being confident in either of the studios, not being confident in the reason why this movie even exists in the first place. All I could really do is sit and wait to see what we're going to get, and thankfully, we have a brand new Mario movie trailer that was given to us, and I don't know how to feel. I feel like I'm a crazy person, I'm not gonna lie, guys. Believe it or not, I hate contrarians and constant negativity. It's just a very toxic space to be around, but it seems like almost everything that everyone likes in the Mario movie trailer, I don't, and everything that they don't, I do. It seems like the biggest conversation going on right now is Mario himself, and specifically his voice, who is Chris Pratt. I don't know what Chris Pratt did to society to make everyone hate him.
Man, I spent hours of my life stomping.
He seems like a solid dude, and he's been in some very popular movies with large fan bases. I thought there'd be more support around the guy, but literally this singular photo of him has become a meme. As an unfortunate member of the online video game community, despite the fact I don't play a lot of video games, by being a Sonic the Hedgehog YouTuber, I've seen the reactions to voices and designs and all of that stuff, and it seems like the fan bases of these franchises just simply don't want their stuff touched. Plus, their little hearts, they don't know what's best for them sometimes. I remember before the Sonic movie came out, everybody was pissed about the celebrity cast, and now they're like everyone's favorite portrayals of the characters. These decisions are made for a reason. It's not to upset people, but yes, it's also for star power to get more tickets sold, but also, I don't want to hear this for 90 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's Mario time. Let's go. Here we go again.
From a business standpoint, I'm trying to look through Illumination's lens here. In 2022, I don't think you could sell a Mario movie where he's a mute, or who talks like this for 2 hours. Yes, I know Chris Pratt is in everything nowadays. He accidentally dominated the summer and we didn't even see it. And he's coming back next year too. This man is collecting his bag. But I also don't think him simply being in this movie means it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad for other reasons. Is it the Mario voice we all know and love? No, not at all. It sounds like Chris Pratt doing a mediocre Brooklyn accent, but I'd much rather take the Mario Brooklyn accent over the wahoo that we would be getting for 2 hours straight. And plus, I'm not going to degrade his entire performance and demand a change off of 2 lines. But Ricardo, what about the rest of the movie? Surely you have more thoughts on that. And yes, of course I do. I think what we've seen from the Mario movie visually looks beautiful. I think it's animated very well. I like the new character designs. While they're different, they're still very faithful, and that applies to the rest of the world and landscape still. And as predicted, the Mushroom Kingdom looks very similar to what it's going to look like at Universal Studios. But if we're being honest, this trailer really doesn't give us much, and it doesn't really get me excited to go see the movie. It's like, yes, this is Mario iconography, but that's not enough to get me excited. What gets me excited is the prospect of what this can be. The rollouts for Illumination movies are so fun. They go all out with the marketing. Their films are so non-self-aware of what they are, and their own messages are getting contradicted by themselves. There's some laughably bad elements of them. That's what gets me excited for the Mario movie. Maybe a trailer could come along that gives us more details on the stories that actually gets me excited for the film itself, but what gets me excited for the Mario movie and why I'm anticipating it so much is to see what it can be, the experience of the Mario movie. I'm not a big Mario fan, so seeing this didn't really get me hyped. There were no jokes in here that were particularly funny. The whole penguin thing was cute, but it's just Illumination humor. It was an interesting trailer, and I think Mario's voice alone will be enough to get people talking, but this overall played it very safe, and I'm scared that the movie is just gonna play it very safe. Seriously, I don't want any movie to be bad. I don't want to spend my money and waste 2 hours of my day watching a film that I am not going to enjoy. And at the same time, I'm allowed to express when I don't have confidence in something being good. This is an instance of that, but if that's the case, I at least want this to be a Minions Rise of Gru scenario or a Grinch scenario, where this just transcends being a film and becomes a cultural experience that will progress my life further. That's what I want from the Mario movie. If you are not going to be good and you're just gonna be a play it safe by the numbers boring Illumination film like every other Illumination film, just a product to sell merch, be that, but make it fun. I am seriously pulling for the success of this movie. I want it to be good. I want to come out of an Illumination movie after over like 10 years and say, dang, that was really good, and for a Mario product nonetheless. But there's nothing about this film's development, from the cast, from the trailer, that makes me think that this could be good. But you know what they say, don't judge a book by its cover. So I guess what we're gonna have to do is open up that Super Mario Bros. Movie book by Illumination and see if it's going to be a good movie, or if it is truly doomed.
Wonder what you want right now, wonder what you want right now. Used to be about it, but used to be about it, about it. Counting all my blessings and count my dollars, make it all back up to